Welcome, everybody, to episode 23 of the Canuckleheads podcast. My name is Justin. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Wes. And let's talk about the Canucks. Shout out to Alex Adler, number 23. And currently, Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Yep.
The first game we have, March 9th, 2022. First game back in Vancouver after a little bit of a road trip there out in Long Island. Not Long Island, New York. So technically Long Island.
Yeah.
Montreal was in the house. This was Demko and Montembeault starting in this one. In the first, we had a goal from Travis Hamonic. Blast from the point. Assist to Brad Hunt and JT Miller. And Wes and I, we were talking about this before the game, before we started recording, like we always do. Hamonic at the point was calling for this one, like beaver tailing his stick on the ice a couple times, then finally gets it and scores. And we were both, when I saw it was Hamonic, I was like, why does this guy want the puck? But he knows what he's doing, I guess.
Yeah, he shoots it and scores in beauty. So
this was 1-1 after the first. Solid period. Just this game, I don't remember if we talked about it last game or not, but I was concerned about this one against the Canadians. I thought this was a bit of a trap game because Montreal had been rolling.
With the new coach. Yeah. They're definitely buzzing right now.
And it was our first game back at home in a week and first game in 3 nights. It felt like this could be one of those big blowout losses for the Canucks.
One of those ones you're supposed to win, but especially with a coach boost and stuff like that, Martin St. Louis, he knows what the heck he's doing.
Yeah. So in the second, we had a power play goal from Brock Besser, who just chipped it over Montembeault's shoulder.
And wasn't it like a double chip?
Yeah.
Tried the first time, got the rebound, shelved it second time.
And again, just another wrinkle in Besser's game where he's really starting to figure out that down low position on the power play and just in front of the net in general. Like
he's tipping, he's chipping, he's doing everything he's got to do out in front of the net.
And scoring goals from everywhere on the ice instead of just sniping from the dot or anything like that. So really nice to see.
Especially with Millsy and Petey kind of solidifying those two spots. Like those are their spots.
Yeah.
So it's nice that Bess is showing I can score from in front of the net as well.
And that bumper play, like we talked about, when Petey's shooting the puck, it opens it up. So everybody's really figured out their role. We talked about this before too. Quinn is not getting shitty passes as much anymore from Petey or Miller. It's all kind of the smart play now, which on the power play, because you have that extra skater on the ice, you don't need to make a dumb pass, cross ice pass. You can work it around and get the team out of position.
Dump it down low instead of always going to Quinn.
Yep. So this was 2-2 after 2 periods. And then in the third, JT Miller just decided that this game was over.
Yeah.
Stripped the puck off one of the Habs defensemen and just ripped it over Montembeault's glove. He said in the post-game interview he thought he got away with a bit of a hook, which, like, Miller, they're going to be looking for you.
Yeah.
But, stripped the puck off a D-man, and he said he knew that Petrie was closing in on him, and he just tried to shoot it as hard as he could. And he did, man. That was a nice goal.
Yeah.
And then we had a goal from Elise Patterson on the power play. Again, Miller had the puck in the neutral zone and kind of curled back instead of entering the zone.
Yeah.
And, like the expert that I am, I'm sitting here being like, why are you doing that? Like, let's enter the zone and get set up. Yeah. Then he dished it back to Petey, who was coming in with speed and
brings it in and
cuts through 4 Montreal Canadiens in the back of the net. Like, shot it from a similar spot as Miller, and just a nice goal. And then we had an empty netter from Bo Horvat to seal the win. 5-3 win for the Canucks in this one. Wes and I both said 4-2, so we were close.
What did I say? Off with your heads, boys.
And off with their heads is still 100%. Yeah. But this was a good game. It needed to be a bit of a statement game because, like, you needed this one. If you lose to the Habs,
you can't. At this time in the season, we need every win we can possibly get. Yeah, this was a must-win.
Yeah, when every point is, like, just so valuable right now.
A team that we're better than, we have a better goaltender in net right now. Yeah, so we need to win this game. Yeah,
and a big 4-point night from JT Miller, who's just on a roll, just a ridiculous role. Just like I was happy the way the guys played in this one, like, because they have a habit, like, it's been a roller coaster, right? They have a habit of getting blown out. Yeah. This was just a good, hard game. Yeah. So good win, and we'll go on to the next one here. March 11th, 2022, Washington was in the house. Demko and Vanacek got the start. The Canucks were wearing their Pride jerseys for warm-up in this one, which we'll get into a little bit more later.
I liked them.
Me too. They were really cool.
Yeah, I liked just how much detail was in the crest.
Yeah, and like the kind of the rainbow throughout the orca.
Yeah.
Thing I didn't like is they were selling them for $650.
Yeah, that's
too much for a jersey.
What are the fans supposed to do to support you on that? You know what I mean?
For real, when you're already dropping money on Dickinson and everything else, like that's a lot.
Make it a $200 jersey, and then everyone can buy one.
Yeah.
And support the cause. When you make it that price, it's real hard to support. Like, I don't have $600 for a jersey. I'll tell you that right now.
And a practice jersey too, right? Like it wasn't, or a warm up jersey.
Yeah.
So this was 2-0 Washington after the first. Couple of weird bounces for the Caps. The first Kuznetsov goal bounced off the Zamboni door, kind of behind Demko, and popped right out to him. It hit him. He didn't even shoot it, and it went in the net. So
weirdest bounce ever.
Yeah, like we were talking, you could try that 1,000 times, and it would
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. 2-1 Washington after the first 2-0 after like the first 10 minutes of this period.
Yeah.
And it was all Capitals too. Like the Canucks towards the end of the period.
We started to kind of get going.
Yeah, they found their legs a little bit and were into it. But
it felt like we just had a hard time adapting to the Caps style at first. They came out real hot and just buzzing, and we were a little flat and just had to try and adapt and find our game. And then later on, we started to find it.
Yeah, and Washington had lost a couple in a row coming into the
so night. They're pissed off.
Yeah, you knew they were going to come out. So in the second, we had a goal from Quinn. In the third, we had this was 2-0 going into the third. We had a goal from Quinn Hughes. Just a point shot after like some nice skating. Petey and Pearson with the double screen in front. Yeah. Just a seeing eye puck from Hughes. This was 49 seconds into the third. Yep. So good start. They needed a big third period.
Yep.
And Boudreau said that he said one of the captains like didn't let Boudreau into the room and was like, "We'll handle this."
Yeah.
And later we found out it was JT Miller who did that. So of course it was JT Miller.
Yeah.
Who also got an assist on this goal.
Which Boudreau had said about Getzlaf earlier in his career. He said Getzy sometimes would just stop him and be like, "No, I'll handle this."
Yeah.
And JT Miller taking a page out of that book, and I love that.
Yeah. And it definitely sparked the Canucks because we had another goal on the power play from Bo Horvat from the bumper on a nice pass from JT Miller.
Yep.
This was a vintage Bo Horvat power play goal. Just
pass it out to the bumper and he snipes it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. And then we had another goal from Bo Horvat who tapped it in off a rebound from a Hamnick point shot. And this was all in about just a little over 5 minutes. So the Canucks came out to play in the third.
And Bo really showed a lot of patience with that goal too. Just the way he kind of pulled it off the pad and then tucked it in. Like there's so many guys who panic in that position and start just whacking at the puck. He really just took it out, tucked it in. It was perfect.
And also, like, this game is a prime example of how Bo and Miller can coexist but are both leaders on this team, right? Miller is the big guy in the room. Then Horvat goes out and scores 2 goals.
Yep. So I don't like how people are trying to create a narrative that they can't coexist.
Yeah.
Man, they're both leaders. Let them both lead the team.
Yeah. And it's like the last kind of era of Canucks hockey, right? Where you had Henrik as the captain.
Yeah.
And you had Ryan Kessler as an assistant. Like they worked together and they were different.
Yeah.
Like Kessler is a vocal guy.
Yep.
And Henrik is more of a
quiet, soft-spoken, but will do work on the ice.
Yeah, and like earlier there was that story that Horvat and Miller didn't see eye to eye, which is completely garbage. So
BS.
Yeah. 3-3 going into the OT for this one, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Without that terrible bounce, we might be just winning this one.
Yeah. Capitals win it 4-3 in overtime.
With a terrible turnover.
Yeah. But we got a point.
Yeah.
And the way the standings have been, it's like the teams we need to lose have been losing. So it's like it's still a huge point. So.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said after the game. As soon as it ended, I was really pissed about the turnover, and I was pissed about just that breakdown in general. But all I said is, we got a point.
Yeah.
That's it. We just chalk it up to that. They know what they did wrong. It sucks because I feel like if maybe we would have started a couple other guys on the ice, maybe we don't have that breakdown. But that's our key 3 that we start with on the OT. So you can't be mad at it. Just chalk it up as we caught a point in this one and move on.
Yeah, and every team we need to lose was losing. So it's, I think Edmonton won.
Well, Vegas squeaked one out, which we want them to keep losing too because we're about to snag their spot here. So let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so for score predictions, I said 4-3 Canucks, Wes said 3-2. Yeah. I had the score right, but wrong team. So
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll do it for games this week. Only had the 2 because we covered Toronto in the last game.
And we got Tampa tonight.
Which is a big one.
Must win.
And they started Elliott last night against the Oilers, which
and
I was hoping
they lost
weren't.
4-1.
Yeah. So Tampa's probably going to come out pissed. Starting Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
She's going to be a tough night.
Yeah, but we're at home. We just came off a game that we should have won. We should come out pissed off tonight, too, with a chip on our shoulder and win one.
For whatever reason, we always match up well with Tampa, too. Like,
Yeah.
they're a good team, but we don't ever get blown out of the water from the Lightning.
Well,
it's usually a close competitive game.
Yeah.
We lost earlier on that road trip, but that's when we played the Murderers Row, right? Like Florida, Carolina, Tampa all in that 1 week.
That's the thing, though. I feel like sometimes we kind of elevate to our competition. Like, if someone comes into the barn and they're real good, we kind of elevate our game a bit and play a little bit better. Like, look what happened to the Leafs this season. We only played them twice, beat them both times.
And JT Miller's going to be pissed.
Yeah,
so you
100%.
can count on that. Okay, yeah, so that'll do it for the games. We'll get into some news here. Jason Dickinson was skating on his own, so that's nice to see.
No report of the injury.
Nothing on the injury.
Weird.
We know it's a lower body, right? We saw him grab his leg.
Maybe he's got a bruised hip. I don't know.
But not practicing with the team yet, just skating on his own. So that's
positive.
Yeah, good, and hopefully he gets back and maybe this is kind of a reset for him and he'll get rolling again.
Yeah.
The assistant coach, Scott Walker, and I hadn't noticed this. Yeah, he has been gone for, what does it say, since like mid-January. He got hit in the head with a puck. I remember that game.
Yep, and he took a hard puck to the dome
to
split him
open. Boudreau said he's been suffering from vertigo, so we just we wish all the best for him there. Like that's a
shitty situation.
Yeah, and like he was a tough guy in the league, right? Like got in a lot of fights, so you're just hoping there's no like concussion or anything like that. Like it's just he gets over this and he's back behind the bench in no time.
And vertigo's a tough situation, boys. It's no joke.
Some more news. Sunday, March 6th, Jack Rathbone rejoined Abbotsford in practice in Toronto. They expected him to play Wednesday night, but he didn't wind up in the lineup. But he was back in the lineup Friday,
which
March
is
11th.
really good to see.
Yeah.
We need him next season, so keep him rolling here and get him some more points.
Yeah, especially after getting stretchered off the ice. Like, that's still a quick turnaround to get back. Yeah. So, good to see Jack Rathbone back. Jet Wu returned to Abbotsford lineup 2 for the first time in 7 weeks due to an injury. Another guy that's, on the blue line. You're hoping he kind of turns into something there. We don't have a lot on the blue line. He's probably our second.
We need blue line prospects, bottom line. So
yeah, good to get Wu back, and hopefully he's continues to develop and have a good season down in Abbotsford. The Canucks signed Red Deer Rebels forward Arshdeep Bains, who's the WHL leading scorer right now.
Yep.
Plays left wing from what I can tell. I'm not sure if he's just a winger in general, but good signing for the Canucks. He's a local boy. I'm not sure what the WHL stipulation is, like if when their season ends he can go to Abbotsford or anything like that.
Yeah.
But good to sign him, and hopefully he's a overager that they're kind of taking a flyer on, and hopefully turns into something.
And obviously he's a skilled player, which we always like to have. So
yeah, if you lead the WHL in scoring, that's pretty
impressive.
So excited to see what he can do on the ice. One thing I wanted to talk to you about too is I don't think there is a Boudreau bump. I think this team is
it's just
what
consistent.
They are.
Yeah, it's consistent. It's not just a bump where we went on that 8-gamer and that's it. No, we've shown we're continuously winning games. We're continuously moving up the ladder.
Yeah.
I think all we needed was a new voice in the room, and we got it.
Like maybe the 8 games in a row is a Boudreau bump.
100%.
But at this point,
we continued.
The bump is over. This is just
us.
Yeah. And good on Boudreau for really getting the boys going and just kind of creating a fun vibe.
Yeah.
Like getting rid of all the pressure and tension that kind of built up.
Got the belt going around in the room.
Yeah.
Like just some fun stuff going on.
Yeah. And like he's just a good coach. Like he's proven it every time he's joined a team.
He's never had a team not make the playoffs. How crazy is that? Yeah. I heard the freaking announcers say that last time.
I didn't know that.
I was like, man, I hope he doesn't start with us because we don't even want to say the P word, but I mean, Jesus Christ. Like,
really putting it on him with that one.
That's a crazy stat.
That's good, yeah. And then going back to the Pride jerseys and warm-up here, I saved a tweet. Let me just find it on my phone here.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about the Pride jerseys and then like the Black History Month jerseys is they haven't been designed by the Canucks like personally. Like the Canucks have gone out to local artists and got them to design the jerseys, which is really cool. The Pride jerseys were designed by Mio on Twitter. It's at Flyers Switch. So if you want, Daniel Wagner from Pass It to Bulis in Vancouver is awesome. Did an article about her at Pass It to Bulis on Twitter. So if you want to go check it out, because the jerseys are really cool.
Yeah, they are. And
it's just a cool thing for the Canucks to go out to kind of like, I guess, outsource these jerseys to people who understand the situation a lot better than them. So
yeah,
and they've been great. Like I've loved all the practice jerseys.
Yeah, the Black History Month one, even just the blacked out with the Rasta colors. I thought that was so sick.
Yeah, and then the Pride one with kind of the rainbow orca, but it's not just
the detail in the orca. Yeah, that's what I thought was the coolest part about it. Like you see some trees, you see some mountains and stuff. I thought that was cool.
Very nice. Yeah, so that kind of does it for all the news that I wanted to go over. It's gonna be a quick episode this week, I think.
That's all right. We got some predictions to go over, and we got some Canucks of the week to go over. So
yeah,
and I think that one's pretty simple, but we'll get into that one after some predictions. So, do we have an order yet? Are we doing predictions first, and then
we just Canuck of the week?
We just roll with it.
Yeah, want to roll right into prediction?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, let me pop up the games here.
Yeah,
we do have Tampa Bay in the house tonight. Gonna be a tough one.
I hope we catch that dub, though, baby. We're looking for nothing but dubs.
Yeah, yes. And these ones, like, you want to win them in regulation, but
they're going to be tight.
If they go to overtime,
just
that's
like
okay.
The Caps game.
Yeah, we're giving up points to Eastern teams, so it's...
At least we're snagging points along the way.
So what do you think, Wes? Washington or Tampa Bay in
It's
the
definitely going to be a goalie battle if Vasi starts, and Demko isn't happy with that last game, let me tell you, because there was a weird bounce and then had a guy standing out in front just bank one in through the 5-hole. I know he's not happy about it, so he's going to really look to perform tonight, and it's going to be a tight one. I say 3-2 Vancouver Canucks, and that's even a high scorer, I believe, for this game.
Yeah. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of goals tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm going 5-3 Canucks.
Woohoo!
Let's go. 5-4 Canucks, sorry.
Okay, that's still good. I hope we take the dub, and I hope it's a high score, because we need guys getting their points up.
You need guys scoring goals.
Yeah, that's why I want guys scoring.
One thing that you did remind me of is I don't think Thatcher Demko has been as good. I don't want to knock him because he's been amazing, but just hasn't been the world beater that he was 2-3 weeks ago now. But it's been okay because the team's putting up goals for him.
Exactly. So they're giving him a cushion some games.
Yeah, and like he's definitely earned the right to not be insane, right? Like he can he's not losing us games.
No, and a couple defensive breakdowns too in that last one where like there's just guys clearly standing out in front of the net when there should be a D-man on him. So it is what it is, but Thatcher Demko definitely he'll get a little bit sharper come closer to the time.
And to be fair, like when he gets beat, it's not because he just gets beat clean. There's usually a breakdown.
It's not like the Halak stuff where it's like, hey, you should have had that one. Yeah. It's like...
Or like it's always a weird bounce.
It's usually understandable.
Yeah. So next we have New Jersey in the house Tuesday night. Possibly a revenge game for the Canucks. I don't like this one because they don't play the Devils good for whatever reason.
It's always fucked when we play the Devils. I don't know why it's always bad, but Jack Hughes, it's frickin' off with your head, buddy. We're taking the dub in this one. You guys aren't winning this one. We gotta make a statement in this game. And I said off with your heads for a reason on this one because it's getting serious.
All right.
And it's a 4-2 win for the Vancouver Canucks.
4-3 for the Vancouver Canucks.
Let's go.
That's big.
You're
putting your off with your head off their head.
I'm putting it on the line because this is a must win.
This might be the most ballsy one you had all year.
We can't lose this game. And Quinn knows it too. He's like, I'm not letting my little brother chirp me all summer long. Yeah. That's not happening. We're coming into this game fired up. JT Miller's laying the hits. Hopefully we have Luke Shen dropping the body again. We need it.
Threw a couple big ones against the Capitals too. We should mention
100%. Luke Shen always putting the body on the line.
Then Thursday night we have the Detroit Red Wings in the house. Again, not a walk in the park, right?
Nope.
Like it's a skilled Red Wings
They're tougher
team.
This season.
Lots of like firepower.
They have young, skilled guys. They have a couple veteran guys. Yeah, they're looking pretty good.
I'm gonna go 3-2 Detroit in overtime.
Oh, that's the first time we've predicted a loss in a while. And I kind of like that score prediction though.
As much as I don't like giving them a loss, you can't win every game. Like
you can't, but we need the win.
We do need.
So, Should I just go a high score? Just throw a high scorer out there just because. Like, look at the Detroit versus Toronto game.
7-10.
Yeah, their goalie, that was an embarrassing performance on both of their defensive parts. But I'll go 5-2 Vancouver Canucks. We'll throw a big one out there.
I like it. Then we have Calgary Saturday night, but if all goes according to plan, we'll record before then. So.
Yeah.
Solid score predictions. Excuse me. And again, just another big week, right? Like, there's, I think, 9 days till the trade deadline, something like that.
Yep.
So it's really the team holds their fate in their own hands. Like,
yep, 100%.
If you lose 3 in a row, like, who knows what happened? Like, I don't think Miller's going anywhere, but you got to imagine a piece is going to fall. Yep,
and the Tyler Mott, lots of talks. Tampa's interested. Yeah. Like, talks are out there, so.
And, it's going to be a good showcase tonight. Maybe Mott has a big game.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Snag a second rounder for Tampa or something.
Yep.
As much as I like Tyler Mott.
All right, so I've led on the Canucks of the week for a little bit. You go first this time.
Before we start, actually, one thing I wanted to talk about too. Been a lot of talk, like Elliot Friedman had mentioned it. I've heard it from a couple other places that they're looking at this Marino from the Penguins. Okay. I think it's Joe is his name, Joe Marino.
Never heard of you, so I don't want you, but.
But yeah, just for whatever it's worth, there's been some talk there.
Yeah.
So maybe
we do need D,
forward,
so it is what it is.
Canuck of the week, a very easy one for me, JT Miller.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you have, 6 points?
Yeah.
In 2 games?
It's JT Miller, and especially with the little Boudreaux snag there. No, Boo, you stay out of the room. I got this. Yeah. It's JT Miller, no doubt about it. But, like, Bo Horvat's been buzzing, had a couple goals in that one game there, and, like, PD's buzzing. Like, Brock's been pretty decent as of late.
Cleaned up the turnovers, which is
100%, good. And Demko is always amazing.
Glenn's been good. Like, everybody's been good. There hasn't been a guy where you can point to a Chase on maybe, but even then he hasn't done anything egregious. He just
for sure.
We're just not big fans.
And we're mostly just taking points since he's been back in the lineup. So it is what it is. But Luke Shen always laying the body, always looking good as of late. Who's the other one I was just thinking of? Lamico had a couple big chances, almost potted a couple.
Yeah,
he's been great as of late too. Just because he's not scoring doesn't mean he's not playing great.
Yeah, and even in I can't remember if it was the Capitals or the Canadiens game, Shen got kind of beat, got caught turning around, but still
he's slow,
but still made a nice play to cut off the angle and then drove the guy into the boards. Like he just
he's
shows
smart.
He knows where his strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah,
and that was just a good. I got caught. Now my positioning has to be perfect.
Yeah,
and he threw a big hit afterwards.
100%.
Wes and I both picking JT Miller as Canuck of the week here. I just wanted to read this stat here. This is longest active point streaks in the NHL. This was a couple days ago. I'm not sure if these are all active. I think Bunting from the Leafs just got snapped tonight. But so Bunting, 7 games, 12 points. Elias Lindholm from the Flames, 7 games, 12 points. Johnny Gaudreau from the Flames, 7 games, 13 points. JT Miller, 11 games, 23 points. This man is on an absolute heater right now. It's insane.
Like, that's nuts.
Yeah. Just to show, like, every night is like 2 points almost guaranteed.
If you don't pick JT Miller as your Canuck of the week, you're out of here.
Yeah, we just shut down the show.
Yeah.
So I have a couple tweets of the week here too that we'll get to. So let's find right here. This is from Jabo Vancouver at Jabo_Vancouver. It says, I see people post that JT Miller being such a vocal leader makes Bo Horvat less of a leader. I think teams should encompass different kinds of leaders in the way what Bieksa, Burroughs, and Kessler were the perfect complement to the Sedins. And I think he's like, sorry, I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman, but it's spot on. Like, just because you wear the C, that doesn't mean that only you can lead, right? It's a whole team.
When I hear this conversation, it's not even a conversation.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous. And it was funny because in the last pod, or maybe it was 2 pods ago, I can't remember, I mentioned, like, if we didn't give Bo the C so fast, maybe Miller would be wearing it right now, but that does not mean that I don't love Bo Horvat as our captain. If my phone wasn't dead right now, I'd show you that Bo Horvat with the C on his sweater is my screensaver. Like, love the guy. He's an absolute captain. He's the ultimate professional. He doesn't take stupid penalties. He's a definite great leader for these young guys on our team. JT Miller, great assistant captain, very vocal in the room. We have the leaders we need right now.
Also, you take the captain, you take letters on the sweater a lot more serious than I think players do.
Yeah, I take it
there's
very...
nothing wrong with that. That's,
yeah.
like, I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. It's just a thing for... But yeah, I agree with you. Like, like, I think anybody who's past like their 4th or 5th year is a leader on this team, right? Like, I'm sure Brock is.
Yeah,
like,
no, 100%. If he says something to the young guys like Hoglander or Podkolzin, they're listening.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Those are the guys that aren't like leaders yet because they don't have to be, right?
No.
They're still kids.
They're the young guys.
Out. Like, people do take letters very seriously on this team, and like
I do.
Just because JT Miller is the guy giving a speech doesn't mean that Horvat is like he went out and scored 2 goals.
Yeah,
that's still being a leader.
That's 100% being a leader.
That's showing that like this is your team and you're going to do whatever it takes to get them back into the game. And scored 2 goals in like 3 minutes.
And showed real poise and confidence in that game.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think there's any leadership issues. I don't think Miller is sitting there being like, I should be the captain. You know,
the right guys are wearing the letters, and when they're like, it's a tough call because if Brandon Sutter is here right now, maybe JT Miller's not even wearing that A, which would be crazy to me. I kind of think it was perfect timing for him to fall out of the lineup, and then boom, that gets on JT's sweater, and now he's just been lights out.
He has been very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he's sitting there like pouting over not being the captain. Like,
no.
I don't think really, like, yes, wearing the C is a big honor.
So is even wearing an A.
Yeah, but none of them are sitting there worrying
crying
about
it
or pouting about it, right?
No.
Like,
Brock Besser's not sitting there pouting that he doesn't have an A
Tyler
on his sweater.
Myers isn't. He was an assistant captain last year. I think he's worn it a couple times this year, too.
He has, and I don't think that's the right move, honestly. I'm sorry. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's got that sealed up. He's a great defenseman. I believe that you should have an A on your D-core. Even if it went on Quinn's sweater, I wouldn't be mad. You need a leader for each lineup kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Quinn or Oliver Ekman-Larsson would be the perfect candidate for that.
I like OEL wearing it.
Because he's been in the league longer.
Yeah, and at this point, too, I don't want to put extra pressure on Quinn yet.
No, exactly.
He's plays...
He knows he's a leader on this team.
Yeah, he's on the first power play. Like, he's got to drive offense. He's one of the few guys that can break the puck out. Like, we don't need to put more pressure on him. Yeah. Same thing with Petey, right? Like, just let him play for right now. They will have letters on their sweaters at some point.
I liked how that one game when there's a couple guys out, they tossed the A on Petey's sweater, and I was pumped about it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, dude, they tossed it on for one game, but I was glad about it, but eventually that's going to come.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode. This is going to be like an under half-hour episode.
That's okay. Couple quick ones, nothing wrong with that. We've been cutting them to like 50 minutes to an hour, so that's pretty decent.
Yeah, and just not like not a lot of games. Like, we only had 2
We
this
covered
week,
the Toronto one late, so that we didn't have that game to talk about. So
but yeah, we'll be back at it again next weekend, hopefully with a couple more wins.
Yeah, 100%. Another one in the bag.